And so you would see basically, okay, here's the topic of the conversation, then the ad happens here, and then you have a spike of attention, and then you want to see, okay, how much you can keep it.
How much you
right?
can
And so
keep it, and like how maybe like it's how much of a difference in the conversation between the before and after.
exactly. So you want the shift, basically.
Right.
You want to spike it as much as possible. Okay, I'm talking about fitness. Boom, I show the ad about protein. Now, how much do I talk about protein, right? And do I stay high, or then do I fall back and talk about fitness again? And so that is mind blowing, guys. Like there isn't anything else.
It's very cool. You could be
it's
so you
amazing.
could even like get them to shift into a complete separate topic, like let's say just randomly travel, right? For whatever the reason you were talking about fitness, and then you interject the ad about traveling, and they shift the conversation to traveling.
Right?
That will be completely mind-metric to travel.
Wow, it's there's so much. Well, the first thing I was talking about when you guys were talking was like what you're describing is like how magazines used to work, and what the old school advertisers like Ogilvy believed. And then you'd like read them, you'd read the entire magazine, and you would generally like read the ads, and the ads would be in between the articles, right? And that's what we described. So like now you're doing it in an environment where it's dynamic, you can measure it. There's a whole bunch of like
it's instant almost,
right? And I like to, the internet tends to be nonlinear. I think magazines, even books, I kind of like not that excited about books anymore. I'm not excited about like a linear experience. Like I have to read it in order, and it's really long, and I'm busy. I have a lot of things to do, and I don't have the kind of time like I used to when I was a kid, read like 4 books a week or something. So I love this whole like non-linear methodology that, let's say, chatbots ultimately lend themselves to. And then inserting the ads into it makes total sense, right? And you can shift it. I also like the idea of like an engagement measurement rather than a click. I think clicks have, there's some good incentives to it. There's also some bad incentives with clicks. And I can see that like a metric, maybe there's options to choose both, right? I want to measure on a per click, or want to measure on an engagement basis,
you want to make
right?
the most clickbaity ad, right? And so people just click actually, but then they leave, right? And so that's what you could do, right?
Right. It's you know, like you've seen how like platforms like LinkedIn and stuff have reduced the ability for people to share links because they want people to stay on the platform, right? So there's strengths and weaknesses to both, but I like the engagement one because like I'd see how that becomes popular with brand advertisers. So maybe I'm not selling a product that's easily bought online, like, you know, traditionally like beer or something like that. Like alcohol is a good category where you don't, I mean, now they have more online sales, but it's not really how they sell it, right? But they want to have an engaging experience. Or cars is another but probably a better example. You really just don't buy a car online. You do research. They need to advertise it. So having like a conversation with like, you know, Toyota or Subaru or Bentley, it's kind of interesting. Very cool.
Yeah, I want to double tap on the linearity, because I think you can have the other take where actually there is a lot of linearity, or at least linearity of attention within the LLM, just because you have a lot less content switching, right? If you think about social, where you're just doom scrolling and you have a constant back and forth between content, which is not the same content, right? Or sure, you have the algorithm, but you're intellectually not stimulated, right? You're just doom scrolling. And this is why our channel is so amazing, is that people are very intellectually stimulated, right? They're having like deep conversation, where we have some conversation of 100 plus turns, 100 plus messages, right? So 50 conversations from plus 50 replies. And so that's deep, guys. That's like deep, intellectually stimulated conversations.